Hey, this is Brett the Hitman Hart, and you're listening to the Smacked Raw podcast.
Welcome everyone to the Smack Raw podcast NXT recap episode. We are your hosts, SES Vince. Today, I got the whole crew with me today. I got RN Mr. 8984. I got J Thunder 2009. What is up, guys? A long time no see. It's been a minute since it's been all three of us.
Yeah, it's been a few weeks for sure.
Yeah, it's been a minute. Our resident Brock Lesnar of the show, Mr. J Thunder. We love you, man, but you're not as consistent and regular as we'd like you to be.
Yeah, you know, it's a lot of stuff going on now, man. It's crazy. I would think that, you know, with everything going on, like the coronavirus and whatnot, you'd be easy for me to get here. But no.
It's actually been more difficult to get you on the show, to be honest with you. Everybody's stuck at home, but you're still over there just like being impossible. So again, for those of you that may be new, we are the exclusive wrestling recap podcast for Wrestling News World. Check out WrestlingNewsWorld.com for all the latest news, results, and rumors within the world of pro wrestling. Really solid stuff. They have a lot of great articles you could check out, plus other wrestling related podcasts such as Those Wrestling Girls. Check them out if you're a big fan of like the women's division and just like women's wrestling all around. They do a lot of great spotlight episodes and just talk specifically about women wrestling. So if that's something you want to focus on, check them out. That's Those Wrestling Girls. And check out WrestlingNewsWorld.com. If you want to like find more of us, we're found right here on YouTube.com/SmackRawPod. We're also available in the audio realm wherever you consume your podcasts. So whether that's Spotify or Apple Podcasts, whichever you prefer, we're on there. Just look us up, Smack Raw Podcast. Also, check out our Discord channel where we talk wrestling during the show, especially during pay-per-views. This is when it's most active. We also have a Facebook page. RN, Me and Jelly Bean's YouTube channel, and Me and Jelly Bean's memes, right? Funny stuff there.
Me and Jelly Bean memes, Me and Jelly Bean production on YouTube, Twitter. Hit me up. We actually got a Twitter page as well. Definitely shoot me that hashtag Smacked NXT. We'll definitely shout you guys out during the show and answer. That's it. I mean, at Mr. 8984, hit me up for sure.
Yeah. So, like we were saying, Twitter, final plug, I promise. Don't forget to follow the show on Twitter at SmackRawPod. You can find our social media handles right here on the screen for all the YouTube viewers. But if you're listening via the audio realm, we will have it in the description there as well. So in case you just want to follow all these great hosts that we have on the show. So now, finally, let's get into the show, guys. In a nutshell, what did you guys think of NXT? Just one quick one-word answer, like one-sentence answer. What you guys thought of the show? Ups or downs?
That was solid.
Yeah. Jay, what you think?
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Okay. Any criticisms of the show?
Aaron, you go first, bro.
That Shotzi promo, that needed to be half the time that it was.
Okay, we'll talk more about that there. Jay, is there any like criticisms of the show you had?
Not so much. I guess I'm a little biased, but I was all for the Shotzi promo because it was like one of the promos that actually like got her some screen time. So it's kind of like, oh, I get to see her more instead of just seeing her on one episode of NXT and then don't see her the next week and then she comes back the week after. You know?
Yeah. The one thing I do like about it, the whole Shotzi promo, I mean, I guess we can talk about it now since we're already talking about it. But the one thing that I did like about it is that they're using it to keep her in the minds of fans. And this is something NXT was doing so well even from when it started in Full Sail University. Like, quick cheap plug, I've actually just decided, I was bored 2 nights ago and decided I'm gonna start NXT over from day one when it stopped being the game show and it started being recorded in Full Sail. And they were doing that. They would put on, like, it was an hour show, so they would put on the matches, but they would also have like a hype package for a wrestler that wasn't on the show to keep them in the minds of fans. So
I guess
that's good in the sense, the context of it, to each his own.
And honestly, the content and the context of it, like I dig it, like I see what she was doing, but to me, she just sounded too robotic, like she was reading off a script. It didn't sound natural.
Right.
I guess if that's in like it sounded like that was a couple takes in, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, it probably was a couple takes in, but I love some stuff in it. I mean, we already talked about it. We don't have to address it, but let's talk about how the show kicked off. It was Karrion Kross. He kicked off NXT, and we knew this going in. They were tweeting about how they were going to kick off the show, trying to get some viewers in. He had a relatively quick squash match against some guy. I forgot to pick up his name, but he won with a cross-jacket submission. At the end of this, I want to get your input on what you shared in our Discord channel, Aaron. So we'll talk about more of that. So he wins the match with the cross-jacket submission. After the match, Ciampa's music hits. He returns. He comes out to basically formally introduce himself and to Karrion Kross and makes it official for TakeOver in your house. He challenges him to a match because he even calls him saying that, oh yeah, you're pretty special. You have all this elaborate entrance and you have the look. You look like a superstar, but you know, it's not that easy. Basically, it was just a nice, cool way to build the match, book it, and then lead into TakeOver without giving us too much. I liked how when Ciampa was slowly making his way to the ring, it was Scarlett Bordeaux that actually opened the ropes for him to allow him in, and there was this really cool aura and presence about the whole segment. I liked it. I think it's cool that they actually get in the match. But RN, you have a take on Karrion Kross. You said you might not be feeling him?
I'm not really like. I guess it's because also too there were squash matches, but I don't know. It just all seems kind of sloppy. Now his interest though, that interest is fucking fire, yo. I will give him that, but I just like his setups and everything. I don't know. It just kind of looks. It doesn't look cleaned up, which is what I said from the beginning. Yeah, starting when he's really green in the ring, he doesn't have as much experience as you think he would have. So I know that's just growing pain stuff, and the more time he gets in the ring, some of that stuff will clear up. But I don't know. I think I think it was a good thing and a bad thing coming out the gate with Ciampa. It's a good thing because you got somebody that knows what they're doing and can make him look good and kind of, like you said, get some of that clunkiness out of it.
Right.
But it's also, too, you'll see once he's in the ring with Ciampa, the difference in their levels of in-ring.
Right.
I think that's definitely going to be shown.
I mean, we'll see.
Once they get in the ring.
It might be a surprising thing, and Karrion Kross might be way better than we think he is once he's matched up with someone.
I've seen a lot of them. I'm sorry. I don't think it's going to show.
This is coming from a guy that hasn't seen too much of him. I just seen a handful of stuff. But Jay, overall, what did you think? Because you weren't on the show last week when he debuted officially. What you think of the entrance? What you think of Karrion Kross, especially like his packaging here in NXT? And what do you think of the setup for his match against Tommaso Ciampa?
Well, I thought it was, first of all, that entrance is bomb. Number one.
Yes.
That entrance is fire. Like Aaron said, it is fire. I feel like I was watching it, and I feel like it would be better with a crowd.
Oh, for sure.
It would definitely be better with a crowd. Like I was literally just sitting there. It just looked like a music video, pretty much.
It did.
Like, that's what I was looking. It was like a rock music video, and like I said, I felt like it was something that needed fans to actually see it. It probably would have been way better. But to like kind of like follow up what Aaron said, he does seem kind of like he's kind of like sloppy in the ring. I thought it was just me that thought that.
Right.
But he seems like he's still kind of green. Maybe I mean I'm sold on the packaging. That I am sold on. He's pretty good. It's just I don't want it to turn into one of those things where, you know, his packaging is good, but his wrestling is shit.
Right. I get you. And I mean, overall, what do you think of the matchup between him and Ciampa? Are you up or down on that? You think that's the right guy?
Gives Ciampa something to do.
Yeah, true.
Gives Ciampa something to do. That's what I think about it. It gives Ciampa something to do.
Right.
Because I mean, like, you think about it like this: he's off of this whole this aftermath of him losing to Johnny Gargano, and you know they're going their separate ways.
Right.
And it's like, oh, what is there for Ciampa to do?
Right.
So I mean, I feel like if you know, I don't know, not like, look, I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, he's gonna lose to Karrion Kross.
Oh, he's gonna lose.
It don't really.
Oh, he's
losing
hard.
It feels like it's gonna be a loss.
He's gonna lose.
Yeah,
I mean, once HBK and all those guys came out and said what they said about him, like it pretty much solidified for me that he's going to be one of their top guys. Like he'll have the belt.
I mean, they said that about Drew McIntyre, and it took him like how long?
No, I'm talking about NXT, bro. I ain't talking about on that main roster garbage.
Yeah, actually, you know what? Drew McIntyre rose pretty quickly to the NXT title.
Yeah,
his first takeover match was
a title match.
Was a title match, and where he won against Andrade. So. You never know.
Yeah,
so we'll see. Again. So not to knock on the guy, you know. I mean, we're not wrestlers, but you know, Jay Thunder, he's our local pro wrestler here in Chicago. You know, he's one half of the PWX Tag Team Champion, so he knows what he's talking about a little bit when he's talking about someone being a little bit green. The packaging is good. Yes, I don't want him to fall into that rut where he's just like those stereotypical early 2000 WWE wrestlers where they have a great look, they're dominant, but they're ass in the ring. But right. We'll see. Let's move on and let's talk about the first official match, I'd like to call it, El Hijo del Fantasma versus Akira Tozawa. Overall, I want to say I had a little bit more high hopes for this match just because Tozawa is a beast in the ring, and I haven't really seen anything too crazy out of Fantasma that's made me go like, wow, this guy is really, really good. I haven't seen it too much. It's not too much there. What you guys thought of this match? I thought it was decent. I thought it was like a C.
Yeah, it was a solid match. But my thing is like they haven't unleashed him yet. Like he is not the Phantasma or whatever, however how you say it. Say it in Mexican for me.
He's just Luchador number
Phantasma.
7.
Yeah. He's literally like generic Luchador number 4. Like I have not seen shit from him. Like you know what I'm saying? Like this is not who they signed. Like I don't know if it's just him trying to get used to the WWE style or whatever it is. Like he hasn't done shit. Like I can't even remember any like high flying moves he did except for that one little sequence where he did the plancha to the outside of the rope and he almost clipped his damn leg.
He did the plancha inside too.
Oh yeah, then frog splash on the apron, that was dope. But I mean, like for the most part, I haven't seen him do any real luchador shit. Like, and that's what I'm waiting on.
I want to know, did you guys notice that it was kind of like the beginning of the match was like pretty slow? And
yeah.
I noticed that it seemed like they were blown up in like the beginning, the middle of the match.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it did totally seem that way because it didn't really pick up towards the end. The moment for me where the match really started to pick up was when they were battling in the top rope and Phantasma looked like he was about to hit his Phantom Driver from the top rope, but he just drops Tozawa onto the turnbuckle. That's when things started to pick up. That's when things like really took it to the next level. Tozawa even hit like the senton bomb from the top rope. I thought that was it. I legit thought he was gonna get that win.
I was like, oh.
And then Phantasma kicks out of Tozawa's finisher, and then
he didn't kick out. I thought he rolled out.
No, he kicked out.
He kicked out.
He kicked out of his finish.
I thought he rolled out.
Man, he completely.
That was clean.
He completely cleanly kicked out, and then the final sequence was freaking beautiful because that's when Phantasma has Tozawa. He goes to set up the Phantom Driver. Tozawa struggles and fights out, starts to lock in the octopus stretch, but then strength, just Phantasma just wills his way to the Phantom Driver position once again. Hits the Phantom
John
Driver.
Cena his ass.
Yeah. You know what it reminded me of? It's kind of like when you used to be like play wrestling with your little cousins or your little brother or something, and you're out here just like hitting, like trying to force them into a move that they don't want to be hit, and that's what it was.
Yep.
That's what it felt like to me.
No.
Exactly. Jesus. All right, hold up. Give me a sec here.
Quick question.
Yes.
Before we get into anything, because I wanted to ask this because I wasn't on the show last week.
Okay.
So I wanted to know you guys' thoughts on how everyone was presented in the packaging for the Cruiserweight Championship tournament.
Oh, wait, okay, time out. I didn't think I thought everyone was presented just about right, except for maybe Jack Gallagher and like Tony Nese. Those got like the short end of the stick. Swerve probably should. Yeah, he was just on the wrong side of the bracket. Unfortunately, he just wrong place.
Jay Gallagher is a dog though, and that finisher is fucking fire.
Yes, for sure, it definitely is. So here's the thing: Phantasma advances to the finals.
I didn't see that happening.
Say what?
I didn't think that was gonna happen.
You know what? Like we're gonna keep talking about a lot of things that I didn't see happening. So we're gonna keep talking about that.
All right.
So,
but before we keep talking about the pro wrestling, like I said, we were talking about the cruiserweight title. Let's keep on talking about titles, and give a shout out to our sponsor, Belts by Dan. Belts by Dan is a custom championship belt manufacturing, repair, restoration, and resale company started by the owner of BeltTalk.com. Belts by Dan offers fully custom championship title belts identical to the quality of those used on television by major boxing, MMA, and pro wrestling companies. We also offer accessories for owners of existing belts as well as resale of already completed belts targeted at high-end collectors. Please take a look around. Feel free to ask any questions you may have about Belts by Dan. You can reach out to him on Facebook at Belts by Dan, or just hit him on Twitter at Belts by Dan. So check them out for all your pro wrestling needs type of situation. Like, for instance, Jay Thunder. If your PWX tag team title, something happens with it, you could take it to Belts by Dan, and he'll hook you up and they'll fix you right up. So go ahead, check out Belts by Dan and let them know that the Smack Raw podcast sent you. Okay, so next up, we had a Timothy Thatcher promo where he challenged Matt Riddle to a rematch next week. No pinfalls. The only way to win is via knockout or submission. And he even offered Riddle the opportunity to pick the place where this match will take place. I love the promo. This is exactly what you were looking for in Timothy Thatcher going forward, right, Arian?
Right. Like I said, his hard-hitting shit, no fuss. What's that? What was that? The revival said no flips, just kicks. This is what this shit's about to be.
No flips, just fists.
Yes, yeah, that's what this is about to be. It's about to be kicks, fists, all of it. It's about to be all of that.
Yeah, for sure. So he goes ahead and introduces that promo. I liked it. I liked the way he delivered it. I liked the setting. Everything was really so dope about it. And his explanation was about why he wants a rematch is another good one too. It's he's not done with Riddle, and he wants to have a match where he can't just win via some kind of fluky pinfall, which again is perfect storytelling, because last week that's exactly how Riddle won, because he was locked into the submission. He was about to tap out and he reverses into a pinfall. He basically just wants a UFC fight. He just wants a straight up fight, knockout or submission. And I'm with it. So next up, we had the Shotzi Blackheart vignette. Like you said, and you weren't really feeling it. You felt like it was kind of robotic. It was like she was reading off a script. Maybe even took a couple takes on it. Overall, I enjoyed it. I thought it was okay, but nothing too crazy.
I like her story and everything. I thought about her dad raising her and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And how she got into wrestling. I was feeling all that, but like I said, it just didn't feel natural. Like it was coming from her. It felt like she was reading from a script. That would be my only complaint on it.
Yeah, I get you on that one. But the main thing here is that she's gonna come out and take down all these other women in the women's division here in NXT. She doesn't care what any of them says. She name dropped Dakota Kai, Raquel Gonzalez, Candice LeRae, Chelsea Green. So I'm dope. I thought initially it was going to go into Dakota Kai and a Raquel Gonzalez situation, but then she also name dropped Chelsea and Candice. So she's just being built up as the next big baby face in NXT. In their women's division. But let's move on with the women's division. Jade's girl, Mia Yim, she had a match against Santana Garrett. Relatively quick match that saw Santana Garrett kind of get some licks in, put up a little bit of fight, but it was a quick win for Mia Yim with the watch your neck.
Protect your neck.
Protect your neck.
Protect your neck.
You gotta know the phrases, man.
Okay, protect your neck.
This is a Wu-Tang thing. You gotta know this.
Okay, my bad. I took the wrong notes.
It's Wu-Tang Clan.
That ain't, man. She ain't got no damn gimmick, bro. Get out of here.
Okay, so look.
You got some catchphrases.
Look.
Gimmick infringement.
Goddamn. Just give me a break, guys. It's not easy taking notes and watching the show. Sometimes I write down the wrong thing, but I do like the protect your neck. I like the whole finish. I thought it was really good.
Eat defeat.
No. So she has two different versions of it. One is protect your neck, where she targets the neck. The other one is soul food / eat defeat, where she just does the eat defeat onto the jaw.
Hey, you giving him shit? You don't even know the difference in the finishers, bro.
Hey, bro.
Exactly.
You don't even like Mia, so stay out of it.
Okay, but speaking to this segment, things really picked up post match. It was the Garganos that came out, and I freaking love heel Johnny because he came out. I don't even know the lyrics to the song, but he came out like singing the song, and I fucking love this man. He's so good. They talk about about the opportunity that Mia just had to have a match. That's something that Candice deserved, and that Mia squandered that opportunity because she didn't take her out quicker or something. That part I didn't get. They were saying like right now, Mia, we're gonna show you what happens to the people that get opportunities that they don't deserve, and they circle the ring. Gargano gets to the apron. Mia attacks him, which allows Candice to come from behind, jumper, get the jump on her a little bit. They spill over to the outside when it's Johnny that pulls down the ropes to make it easier for Mia to fall to the outside. Candice is jumping her. Johnny is like laughing and mocking and pointing, like just hyping up his woman. Keith Lee comes out to make the save for his significant other. They go ahead, chase them into the ring. They scurry off. There's just this freaking stare down between Keith Lee. He's just so serious. He's like, I'm sick of this BS. What the fuck? I'm sick of y'all shit. And then Mia's like, yeah, what you gonna do now? What you gonna do now that I got Keith with me? Now that it's even, what y'all gonna do about that shit, right?
Lame.
So, okay, but it was just fucking body language. Goddamn, you can't hate on a person's body language, Ryan.
What do you got against them, Ryan? What do you got against?
It's not them, it's her. I like everybody in the match with her. Like and it's not so much that I don't even like her. It's just that I don't know what or who Mia Yim is.
All right.
Just because you threw on some shit and head bitch in charge, whatever. All right, okay, cool. But what exactly does any of it mean?
Right. I mean, look, I get where you're coming from. I get your points you're making, but you can't keep making the same points 3 weeks in a row, man. You've made your point 3 weeks ago. You made it last.
Has she showed us anything these 3 weeks? Have you learned anything new about Mia Yim's character except that her and Keith Lee together, which we already knew from Twitter? Have you learned anything? Kayfabe, NXT. Have you learned anything about Mia Yim?
All I know about Mia Yim.
Answer the question.
I'm answering your question.
We're trying to answer.
Can I talk? All I know about Mia Yim right now is that she's just a baddie. She's just a badass. That's the only thing she's being portrayed on NXT. I get the point you're trying to make. I get the point you're trying to make. But
Candice is a baddie.
Nothing, Aaron. Like, come on, man. That's
all right. We're moving on because we're dragging too much on this. We get it. RN isn't feeling Mia Yim. We on the Mia Yim hype train. Let's talk about someone that I think we can all agree on that we freaking love, and that's Dexter Lumis. He had a match against Roderick Strong. Okay,
I love it.
Jay, we haven't talked to you in a minute.
I fucking love it.
On a scale to like 1 to 1,000,000, how much do you love Dexter Lumis?
Yo, so when he first came on the scene, I was like so confused about this man. I did not know what to think, but now I'm like, he's got a special place in my heart. he's got a special place in my heart.
Jay, I was locked in from the moment I seen him standing behind that sign with the creepy light on him. I was in from there. He had me. He had me.
My thing is, I'm still tripping. What was it? It was like 2 weeks ago where it was in the Undisputed Era match where no one knew that he was in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. I was like, oh my God.
Okay.
I smacking it raw shit there's the picture of it, didn't he? Because we didn't even see it. We talked about it on the show that we didn't see it. He tweeted us the picture, didn't he?
Yeah, we didn't see him at all.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
so funny.
We had to like see the picture post like the show because we didn't know about it. So let's get into it. Undisputed Era, they came out and accompanied Roddy, but they leave relatively shortly. The one thing that I did like about both Undisputed Era, Adam Cole, and Roddy, they were all talking into the camera. You can hear what they were saying, and it felt like very similar to shit that you would see like the NWO or like the Bullet Club in New Japan doing, like talking shit into the camera so you can hear it, using it as a mic almost. Adam Cole was saying that next week they're gonna celebrate his 1 year anniversary of being NXT champion, so maybe a segment for next week. Roddy starts talking trash to Dexter Lumis, and right before he gets into the ring making his entrance, I thought it was good. But speaking of Undisputed Era,
can I raise my hand, sir?
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to say, because it hasn't been talked about, give a special shout out to Kyle O'Reilly, because we haven't seen that man in like forever because of his injury.
No, it's not an injury. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's the his diabetes, and
because he uses needles and stuff.
Yeah, he doesn't want to risk it. So what he's doing is, until there's a vaccine, he's not showing up, basically. So he's not probably.
Well, either way, man, that's still a big thing. That's just about as big as the whole situation with Roman. Like that's something that's deadly.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he is deeply missed with an Undisputed Era, but the rest of the guys are like picking up the slack. But if you are missing Kyle O'Reilly, I got special news for you guys. Wrestling News World is very proud to present an Undisputed Evening for Give Kids the World with Mick Foley. Thursday, May 28th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 6 p.m. Central for all us Chicago people over here. Pro wrestling legend and WWE Hall of Famer Mick Foley will host a chat with NXT's fiercest group, the Undisputed Era, which features the current and longest reigning NXT champion of all time, Adam Cole, former NXT North American champion Roderick Strong, as well as three-time NXT Tag Team champions Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly. During the chat, fans will not only get a chance to watch and listen to the thrilling conversations, but will also be able to ask any members of the Undisputed Era or Mick Foley some questions. Proceeds for this will benefit the Give Kids the World Foundation. For more information on Give Kids the World, check out WrestlingNewsWorld.com. There is like you do have to go ahead and pay a fee. I think it's like $17, and you go ahead and pay that, and you can be part of the conversations and ask as many questions as you like. Go ahead and check it out. Again, 100% of the proceeds go to that foundation. Really good cause, so check that out. I'm really excited to see that next week, Thursday. But let's get into the match. The one thing that I liked about this match was the dynamic of it. Was Roderick trying to be a wrestler and be a badass in the ring? It's like, yeah, I'm going to take this seriously. And Dexter Lumis just like being a total freaking creep. So much so that at one point, Roddy just like rolls out of the rings and yells at Lumis, like, stop staring at me. And then yells at the ref, telling him to back off. And that was a great story beat throughout the entire match. Like, Roddy would try to do something. This match was so dope. Yes, it totally was. Because Roddy would try to do something, and Dexter Lumis would just stare at him menacingly, just creep him the hell out.
He was giving him when he was giving them knife edge on the ground, and Dexter would just like rub his chest. Yeah. Like he was like rubbing honey or some shit on his fucking chest.
Yeah,
like,
man, he got like a paint kink going or something.
His shit's gonna be purple tomorrow, bro. Roddy was giving him the business, boy. That shit was like, it was funny and like hurting me at the same time. It was
like, I feel like in that situation, like that was. I'm just gonna say this because since we've already watched the whole show, that was probably the best match on the card.
Oh hell yeah, by far.
From start to finish,
no doubt,
it was the best match. And again, it's just the story beat. It didn't have to do too many crazy like wrestling moves. Yes, you saw the standard Roderick Strong stuff where he attacks the back, hits you with backbreakers, all that good shit. And then you had the storytelling of Dexter Lumis just playing mind games with Roderick Strong. I love this. Towards the end, the finish was Roddy going for the stronghold, aka the Walls of Jericho, the Lion Tamer, whatever you want to call it. But Lumis tries to escape. And Roddy had the wherewithal to transition into like a cradle like pin and gets the 1, 2, 3, and he scurries out. He's like chilling on like the apron. He's sitting down. He's celebrating. He got the win over Dexter Lumis. He
and out of nowhere,
all sweet. Oh my God! Dexter Lumis just creeped behind him, stalked him, and grabbed him. They went to the
Anaconda Vice.
Yeah, is it the Anaconda Vice? It looks different than the Anaconda Vice, but.
No, it normally is the Anaconda Vice, but just how he did it this time, it looked different because of how he kind of grabbed him, was holding him. But normally it is the Anaconda Vice.
It was different because of the fact that he grabbed him from the apron.
Right.
Yeah,
that was the position that he was in.
Yeah.
It wasn't like he was on the ground. He was the one that was actually laying down, and Roddy was standing up.
So I thought that was really, really good. He has them in the Anaconda Vice on the outside. The rest of the Undisputed Era members, they come out to try to make the save. What I thought was great about this is you see Adam Cole and Bobby Fish striking and kicking Dexter Lumis in the face, and he's just no-selling. He's like not letting go of Roddy. I thought that was amazing. Velveteen Dream comes out to make the save. I guess he's still on TV, regardless of what's going on. I was not expecting to see him after his loss to Adam Cole, but he comes out, makes the save, kind of evens up the odds. At this point, Adam Cole is spilling to the outside behind the barricade. Velveteen Dream climbs to the top rope, hits the purple Rainmaker to the outside, cross the barricade onto the cement.
That shit was vicious. Deadly.
It looked like it hurt both of them.
Tell him again, Ari. Tell him again.
That shit was deadly, bro. God. I don't even know what to say. That shit looked terrible, especially after what we saw. Phoenix on AEW dying tonight. I was like, that's all I had in my head.
Yeah, no.
When he did that shit, like, oh my God.
Yeah. So this whole segment wraps up with Dexter Lumis still having Roddy in his arm. He's cradling him. He's like doing like the Bray Wyatt thing. He's like petting him.
Like he's gently stroking his hair. And it was crazy. Like, it was so funny. And then, you know, one thing, even though all this stuff is going on with Velveteen Dream, I mean, I'm okay and happy to see that the WWE is letting him back on TV.
Right.
And ever since he's come back, I've kind of liked this whole Hollywood Hulk Hogan style that he's been rocking, because he's kind of been doing a lot of portrayal of Hollywood Hulk Hogan with his style in
out of spite.
Yeah. So I mean, the only thing I'm gonna say, and we're not gonna get too much into it, and we're gonna move on to the next thing. But the last thing I want to say is just that I'm just surprised that he's still on TV, given the allegations and given everything, the seriousness of the situation. You would think that WWE would be like, pull it like what they did with Roman Reigns. So I'm like, you know what? We're just gonna erase Velveteen Dream from history for like the moment until this gets sorted out one way or another. I was just surprised to see him still show up on NXT TV, but we'll see. Let's move on to something that you shouldn't be surprised. We had Akira Tozawa. He was in the parking lot. Again, if you're in NXT and you're in the Full Sail parking lot at night, get the fuck out of there.
9 times out of 10, you're gonna get jumped.
Yeah. So he's walking down. Phantasma drives up in his car, pulls up, and he talks to him like, "Hey man, just show some, just to show a sportsmanship. Just sounds like, yo man, that was a great match. That like this championship win is gonna be for Mexico, but it's not only gonna be for Mexico, it's gonna be for you, man, because like you're Mexico too, or something like that." I didn't get the gist of everything he was trying to say. The main
you got the heart of Mexico.
Yeah, something. There you go. Thank you.
Shit, Tozawa sounded like he was fluent in Spanish.
I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it.
He might be Filipino, yo.
He might be like half Filipino, so we don't know. So the main thing here is that once Phantasma tries to start to leave, gets into his car, the masked luchador mafia comes in and attacks Tozawa. But notice how they're not like kidnapping him like they did with Joaquin Wilde and Raul Mendoza. They were attacking him. Phantasma went to the other side on the passenger side door so he can escape. He chased them off. They're like, "Oh shit, here comes Phantasma. Let's run off." And convenient. So here's my whole thing. Like you were talking about how like Phantasma feels like generic luchador number 4. Maybe it's by design, because he's going to reveal himself as this evil mastermind behind this thing. And this is just things to get him off the scent, get his name.
I've been on this since the beginning that's what this was going to turn into. Like exactly. I'm still sticking with it. And at first I was kind of wavering on it. And then after this, I'm like, convenient that they pushed him up against the door. You couldn't open the fucking door. It's like, come on, bro.
Nah, exactly. No, it really felt like, why don't you pick up Tozawa too? You know, there's a reason why Joaquin Wilde and Raul Mendoza were picked up. They're both of like Joaquin Wilde is Filipino, Raul Mendoza is Mexican, so there's like some kind of connection there. Obviously, Phantasma is Mexican, so and then they're all luchadors and shit, so they have that whole lineage there. Tozawa doesn't really strike you as a luchador, so he wasn't made for the faction. I think it's like, again, one of those things where
he's Filipino. He's Filipino.
he's...
My question is it going to be 3 of them or is it going to be 5 of them? Because remember,
I hope. Okay.
2 of those dudes, they're still the same 2 that's been kidnapping her. They've already kidnapped 2 other people.
Right.
So that's 4 plus Phantasma. That's 5.
So what I want to see and what I hope is the case is that it's Phantasma, Joaquin Wilde, Raul Mendoza as the core main 3, but they have their minions kind of like the Dark Order people that they got, you know, like the like the Putty Patrol from Power Rangers.
Yeah.
I've been saying that is that I want them. To
or is that Joaquin Wilde? And are they the two guys now? Like, were the first two guys just jobbers-esque or whatever, henchmen, and then really it's Joaquin Wilde and Raul Mendoza doing it now.
Maybe they pulled like a Dragon Ball Z thing and they just fused or something. They got earrings underneath the mask or something that we just don't know.
Fusion.
But let's talk about another team.
I think that we should like this should be like a GIF. We should put for Arn convenient.
Yeah, man. We'll put it on the t-shirt list. T-shirt idea list. We'll put that on there. But let's talk about some more tag teams. We had Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch taking on Ever Rising. Dude, they completely destroyed Ever Rising.
It's Ever Rising. I mean,
it's Jobber level 3 beat Jobber level 2 team. Like, next.
Danny Burch and Oni Lorcan, I would classify them as jobber to the stars. You know, they're a higher tier than your.
They're enhancement talent. Those guys are jobbers. Ever Rising. How many fucking times are they gonna change their name? They've been like 10 different fucking names since they've been in NXT.
No. They kept the same name, but they changed up their gimmick and looks and
like Deuce and Domino looking and shit, like with the leather jackets and shit.
Yes,
That's what I thought. I'm like, bro, how many times are they gonna switch their stuff?
I think if it was still the same two people, they were called the Metro Brothers back then.
Yeah, that's who that is. That's who Ever Rising is. That's what I'm saying. They've been 2 or 3 different names since they've been in NXT.
All right, well, let's talk about the end of the match though. It was Oni Lorcan that picked up the win against one of the Ever Rising guys, put him in the single leg Boston Crab. Again, relatively quick win. They destroyed them, annihilated them. After the match is the big talking point because afterwards they mocked the Imperium pose, leading you to believe that that's the next matchup for Imperium. And I think it's a good, solid first feud for Imperium to go up against Danny Burch and Oni Lorcan. They have similar strong style, styles in general, like British strong style. They can hit.
I can't take Oni them serious with them long ass white boots, bro. They look like drum majors or some shit. I can't take them serious.
I mean,
man.
I don't really take either of them too seriously, to be honest with you guys. But it's an interesting matchup.
Can we at least take one of them seriously? At least
not with those boots on, bro. I like to the black boots.
All right, but let's. I think one guy we could take seriously is Keith Lee because he's very serious. He had an interview after this whole tag match. He requested an interview himself because he wanted to talk about about Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae. He emphasized how he doesn't care what you say or think about him. I saw your little dinner promo last week. Who cuts a promo? Who records themselves while they're having dinner? Who does that type of stuff? He's over here questioning the whole thing, right? So then he goes ahead and transitions and says, "I don't care what you guys say or think about me, but tonight's actions, you guys crossed the line. Basically, jumping Mia Yim. It's like you guys are crossing the line. You don't fuck with the people I care about. You don't fuck with Mia Yim. You don't fuck with me. Type of stuff. Leave her out of this whole thing." And he was talking about how these Gargano tactics, they're going to reach their limit at TakeOver, and basically just challenge them officially to a match at TakeOver. Not too clear if it's going to be a singles match between Gargano and Keith Lee, or if it's going to be a mixed tag match between Yim, Lee,
I think it's going to start out a single match and then they turn it into a tag.
True. That's true.
Or this could be the feud that takes the title off of Keith Lee.
Yeah, we were actually mentioning that last week, is that we were kind of hoping that this the feud that gets the title off of Keith Lee so he can transition to the NXT title and get it off of Adam Cole and make him the top champion. That's actually where we were kind of hoping this whole thing goes. But let's talk about a former champion here on NXT, Matt Riddle. He had a promo where he basically accepted Timothy Thatcher's challenge, and he said, "Yo, let's fight inside a cage. Somewhere where we're both very comfortable." I like it. I hope it's not the Lion Dance match that they had with Ken Shamrock back in the day in the Attitude Era. But maybe it'll just be a cage match where there's no pinfalls and the only way to win is submission and knockout. So hopefully it's just a standard cage.
What if they actually do a
octagon?
An octagon. What if they actually do that?
That'd be interesting. That'd be completely different and original because you can take your time, pre-shoot that over the weekend, and then air it taped on NXT.
Right.
So you're right, Jay. That could be interesting. I actually would prefer them being.
That's what I was thinking in my head. What they would do, especially if it's supposed to be, supposed to be on his terms.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, like I felt like in that situation when they were talking about a steel cage, because I was really analyzing that situation, because I was thinking they're gonna have a steel cage match, but then I was like,
just started.
It doesn't sound right.
Exactly.
Right.
All right, but we'll see what happens. It was confirmed for next week, so the match was made official. So let's talk about the next match, so we can talk about the second match announced for next week. So we have Kishida taking on Drake Maverick, and this is supposed to be the final match of Group A. As we all found out later tonight, that isn't the case. But the story of the match, what I liked that they were trying to emphasize via commentary, is that Drake needs to win this match, not only to stay in the tournament, but to keep his career here in WWE alive, type of situation. Like early on in the match, Jake Atlas makes his way to ringside to just scout, get a better view of the match, and just give some more support for Drake Maverick. He claims like I know within storyline he's a big fan of the Drake Maverick story, and he feels bad for the guy, and he wants him to keep working here and keep hustling. But if you think about it, there could be a heel turn in the works here, because there was an ulterior motivation here. Because if Kishida wins, he goes 3-0, and he's clearly the winner. But if Drake Maverick won here, everyone ends up with the same record, 2-1, and they all have a win against each other. So the tiebreaker rule, it's thrown out the window. So during the match, we see that Kishida is in control for the majority of it. Towards the end, he does try to hit the hoverboard lock from the top rope, and Drake just uses Kushida's momentum to reverse it into a pin, gets the 1-2-3. This match would have been amazing with a crowd. I'm underselling the match, because the story of Drake Maverick coming into it, Kushida being just a great talent all around. This is a match that I feel like was really hindered by the fact that there was no audience interaction, because the audience could have made this probably the best match of the night, just based on what
Well, not even that too. You finally giving Drake Maverick a chance to show what he can really do inside the ring, because we already know he's bomb on the mic.
Yeah.
But finally giving him a chance to show that he can actually fucking wrestle too. But you do it after you fire him. Smart.
Yeah, exactly. Well, maybe he got furloughed, so maybe he could come back.
Yeah.
So maybe
I've been saying it from the start. I think it was a work. I think it was.
That'd be kind of shitty for them to do. But as we've seen, because of the Dark Side of the Ring documentaries, WWE does a lot of shady stuff.
That's what I was gonna say. Man, you're saying that that's not a real thing.
No. It's not surprising whatsoever. After the match, Jake Atlas gets into the ring. There's this whole commotion. They're trying to figure out what the fuck is going on next. Byron Saxton is in the corner being a creep, and is announcing just hey, so I just got word by management that next week you guys will be facing off in one final match to determine who goes to the finals of the Cruiserweight tournament.
Who the hell gets a call that quick?
I don't know, man. Byron Saxton's got the plug. He got connections.
He's like, oh, guys, hold up. What? Come on, bro. Let the shit breathe first a little bit. It was.
I feel you, but you never know. You never know.
They could have did that that sequence a little bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely could have.
Maybe it was a case of they sped it up because they were running short at the time. Maybe. Probably. But the match is made official next week. Kishida versus Drake Maverick versus Jake Atlas. Triple threat match. Dope match. The winner of that advances to face off against Hijo del Fantasma to determine the new interim Cruiserweight champion. So I'm excited for that next week. It looks like we got that going on. We get the cage fight between Matt Riddle and Timothy Thatcher. We'll see. Final segment of the night before the main event. Damian Priest cut a promo at the top of the stage. I kind of like the whole setup. You had his music playing in the background. Very, very dope stuff. He basically said, if you want to live in infamy, you need to have multiple targets, which explains why he was targeting Keith Lee's North American title and at the same time attacked Finn Balor, because he had his title match 3 weeks ago, but he also attacked Finn. He said, sure, of course you want to be a champion, but titles will come. He's very confident that he will be a champion here. He was saying that Finn coming back to NXT was an opportunity that he just couldn't turn down, because Finn, this is the guy that kind of built NXT. He kind of made what NXT was. He was really gassing them up, and that's something I really do appreciate in wrestling.
Right.
When you gas up your opponent, so that when you beat them, or if you lose to them, it's a significant loss /win. So that's
shout out to Chris Jericho.
Exactly. freaking love that. So he challenged.
My thing with this is like I don't understand why this logic for this cannot be applied to all the heels throughout the fucking company. He told you flat out what his intentions are, why he switched up on the fly, why he targeted Finn.
Yeah.
Everything you need to know about why he's a heel and what his motivation is. You don't need to question it. You don't need to be like, well, maybe. He literally told you everything. So it's logical. Mm-hmm. You don't have to think too crazy outside the box to believe it.
Right.
You get why he's doing it. And I mean, that's like, I don't understand, like, why is this so hard for the company as a whole to apply this to their storylines and their characters? Like, it's that fucking simple.
I mean, you're not wrong, man. You're right with it, man. So let's move on to the final point. He challenged Finn to a match where Finn made his name at TakeOver. He that's where he wants to take him on. He punctuates the statement after the challenge for a match against Finn at TakeOver by saying that Finn's name will burn to ashes while his will live in infamy. Loved it. Very smooth. He and then as the camera pans out, you see his name in the background because that's his whole thing. He wants to let everyone know his name. So I thought.
You think we're getting Demon Finn here?
No, hell no, not this early on. I actually don't want to see Demon Finn anytime soon, to be honest. I don't either. I don't want to see it anytime soon. Let's get to the main event. We had Io Shirai versus Rhea Ripley. Very solid match where Io's strategy was just trying to chop down the bigger Rhea Ripley, get it down to size with submissions and strikes. Overall, very sound, smart strategy here. But the match
was it just me or was Rhea kind of heelish in this?
Yeah, I did get that vibe. Like, it was more or less like Io was the one trying to have an actual match, and then Rhea was getting the heat here, and
pulling her hair and shit and everything. Like,
they might transition to that. Maybe the fact that we're all thinking that it's supposed to be Rhea that just gets this redemption story and gets the title back. They could do a thing where she's so frustrated she can't get the win over Charlotte, or she's frustrated that it's Io the one that gets the title because she's so obsessed with the idea that it has to be her that brings the title back to NXT and takes it off of Charlotte, that she could just turn heel, and then you transition Charlotte into something else either on Raw or SmackDown with the brand to brand invitational shit, and then you do a double turn here where Rhea turns into a heel badass, as she should. I think she would come off and be better off that way, and then Io goes into more of an anti-hero type of stuff.
Wouldn't it kind of ruin the fact that she's supposed to be the face?
I mean,
because then everyone's gonna even if
no, I don't think so. I mean, look,
it doesn't make. She's the biggest woman in the division. She doesn't make sense as a face to me. It just doesn't make. Yeah, it doesn't come off, especially going against somebody like Io and all that. To me, I think she needs to be a heel as well.
For sure. So, speaking of heels, Charlotte comes down to the ring once the battle of the match just spills to the outside. They're brawling on the outside. Charlotte, tries to come out and just is very confident and egotistical about the whole way she approaches.
I mean,
the ring.
This is Ric Flair's daughter.
Exactly. I love it. She's good at her role. She plays the character to a fucking T. So
we just want to point out. Let me point something out. We're not hating on Charlotte Flair. We're hating on Charlotte Flair being in NXT. So don't take any slant. We're not trying to slander Charlotte Flair.
Maybe you are.
There's definitely no slander. I'm still she's cool. I just don't like her in NXT.
She's the best. To me, she's the best damn women's wrestler they have on the entire roster.
Right. For sure.
She shouldn't be in NXT.
Exactly.
Debatable, yes. But
okay. So let's move on. So Charlotte does make her way to the ring. She's observing stuff from the outside. Rhea tries to get Io back into the ring, but then she strikes Rhea, and that makes her, that collision forces her to land on top of Charlotte. Rhea gets back into the ring. The match goes on for a couple minutes before Charlotte comes in and attacks both of them, lays them both out, ends in a DQ finish. I knew this was going to happen. That's why I didn't have my hopes up too high for this match, because you kind of felt like they were going to lean into a triple threat at TakeOver. Yes,
they love triple threats at TakeOver.
For sure. That's their fucking thing. They're all about that shit. So overall, I thought the show was really good. I thought the best match in terms of what they were delivering within the ring, not only moves and storyline. I think it was Roderick Strong and Dexter Lumis. There's a lot of character development there. We saw a couple setups for next week. tonight's episode didn't feel like last week. I felt like last week they really crammed a lot of good stuff in 2 hours, and you felt like you got like the bang for your buck. And this week it felt like it was more like a filler episode almost, or like a transitional episode where
I'd say that's more accurate, transition, not so much filler, because I had some dope shit in it.
Yeah,
I feel like this was just them kind of coming up on a turn. They're not really turning yet, but you can see the turn coming. I feel like that's what this was.
Yeah, it was a very transitional because they still have like 2 more weeks because what is it, like June 7th takeover? So far we have
but yes, 2 weeks for sure. Like
so far, if I'm not mistaken, we have Keith Lee in either a mixed tag match or a singles match between Keith Lee and the Garganos. Then
is the Cruiserweight tournament final going to be at
They haven't announced it, so they could either do it on the Go Home show for NXT, or they could do it at Takeover itself. So we'll see what happens. But guys, that's today's show. Is there any final thing you guys wanted to add before we sign off?
I love Dexter Lumis.
I think we all do. Jay, any final thoughts?
Yeah, a couple actually, but I'm gonna try to make it short because I know how you guys talk about how I ramble.
Oh well, no, it's just we got like 4 minutes on the call, so we got to wrap it up soon. So just let us know.
First of all, I want to commend both of you guys on shirts. You guys look fucking awesome with your EOs and your is that a Velveteen dream?
Yeah, that's
the 3i.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
definitely want to commend. Oh, and Vince, again, I wanted to commend you. I don't think I got a chance to commend you, but I've been kind of like looking at your pop figures in the back. I've been literally looking at the pop figures in the back, and like I saw you had an NWO Wolfpack Sting, and I was like, oh,
it's actually signed.
That's pretty rare.
It's actually signed by Sting. So I actually got to meet him.
That's a rarity right there.
For sure. So, I mean, we might have to do a show where we just like show off the Funko Pops, just like a quick YouTube channel or something.
But yeah, no, I'm just happy to be on with you guys, man. It's always fun to be on with you guys for NXT. So
for sure, man. Definitely got to get you back on here for predictions and for Takeover. We got to keep this train going. So we got about like 2 minutes left on the show, guys. Final plugs. Again, want to say thank you for listening. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube channel. Let us know. Leave a review and a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts. Helps the show a lot. Download this episode wherever you consume all your podcasts. Check out our Facebook, all our socials, our Discord. All that information is going to be in the link tree and the Discord information in the comment section down below. Check that out. Once again, Smack Raw Podcast. Use the hashtag SmackNXT to get a shout out or a mention on the show or a question answered. All that good shit. I'm SES Vince, RN, J Thunder. We are the Smack Raw Podcast NXT crew. We'll catch you guys next week. Later, y'all.
Hashtag
Smacked NXT,
baby.
Let's go.